You know, they say some friendships are written in the stars, but mine was carved in Lagos dust and sealed in hardship. Dayo wasn't just my best friend, he was my brother, my ride or die since childhood. We grew up in Ajegunle, where dreams die faster than they are born, and where a meal a day was luxury, not luck. My mom sold akara at the corner of our streets, and Dayo's dad had long abandoned them. We bonded over hunger, literal hunger. We hustled together, skipping school to carry cement blocks, wash keke, or clean car windshields at traffic lights. We had that Lagos hustle in our blood, and every naira felt like a trophy. But poverty has a voice. It whispers to you at night when your stomach grows. It told us we deserved more, and so we listened. I remember the first run we pulled. Dayo's cousin, Sunkomi, told us about a trick posing as job recruiters. All we had to do was rent a cyber cafe for 2 days, print fake job forms, and ask applicants to pay a processing fee. We made over 50,000 naira that weekend. It felt like we had robbed a bank. I remember Dayo laughing until he cried, fanning himself with new naira notes. That moment changed everything. We were just two skinny boys with a taste for fast money. We started thinking bigger. Dayo was always the planner, the wild one. Me, I was more cautious, but I followed him. Not because I didn't know better, but because he was my brother. And when you grow up watching each other's backs, that loyalty becomes your compass, no matter where it leads. We moved on to more elaborate local scams, fake housing agents, WAEC results upgrades, even impersonating immigration officers. We became chameleons, blending into whatever personnel the con demanded. Our street cred grew. Older boys started respecting us. We weren't just poor kids anymore. We were wise boys. But all the money, it disappeared fast. My mom never questioned where my sudden generosity came from. She was just happy we could finally repaint the house, replace a broken sewing machine. Sometimes I wanted to tell her the truth. But how do you confess that your son became a thief with a laptop? Then came the day we discovered Yahoo. It was at the cyber cafe. I was browsing Facebook when Dio nudged me and whispered, "See as this girl dey cry over one scam wey dey scam am, one oyinbo." He showed me a page about romance scams, stories of women abroad being duped by fake soldiers, oil workers, engineers. Dio's eyes lit up. This na the real money. Toby, forget all these small runs. Let's go international. We dived in, bought ebooks, watched YouTube tutorials. We learned how to spoof emails, how to fake bank statements, how to write sweet nothings to lonely women. I was the writer. Scripts, love letters, entire fake lives. Daya was the voice. Soft, charming, convincing. We spent weeks perfecting our first profile. John Harrison, 46, widower, working in Syria with the UN. We targeted an older woman in Alabama, Rose. It took months, but one day, she sent $5,000 to help with customs clearance. Maga don't pay. We lost our minds. That day, we became Yahoo Boys. From there, things moved fast. We bought our own laptops, modems. We shifted base from the cafe to our small flats. Then came the money, new clothes, Android phones, wristwatches. We rented a self-contained apartment in Festac. But it wasn't just about the cash. It was the feeling, the power, the idea that we were beating a system that had ignored us. Daya would always say, "Now we no get connection." They shout say, "Fraud bad." Everybody na thief. Na the person wey they catch, na him be barao. But I couldn't lie. Sometimes I felt it. The guilt. There were nights when I'd reread the messages we sent, the lies we told, and wonder about the people on the other side. But Dio would clap my shoulder and say, "Then go survive. Na their own cross be that." Focused. We focused. By 20, we had relocated to Lekki with 2 other boys. The game got deeper. We opened fake websites. We bought PayPal accounts from the dark web. I created over 30 personas, engineers, doctors, marine workers. We even had routines: work from 8 p.m. till 5 a.m., sleep in the day, eat shawarma and jollof rice like kings. The money was steady, our accounts were fat, but something happened that we didn't expect. One day, at a supermarket in Yaba, I saw a woman looking at me like she had seen a ghost. She followed me out, stopped me. "You don't remember me, Abi? You scammed my sister 3 years ago. School admission. She nearly killed herself." My heart stopped. She left before I could speak, but something in me cracked. I didn't tell Dayo. I couldn't. We had so many scams under our belts. It was hard to keep track, and yet I never forgot her face, the pain, the quiet rage in her voice. But life moved on, or so we thought. Dayo and I became legends. From Lekki rooftops to nightclubs in Ikeja, everyone knew us. We were the Yahoo Boys who never got caught. We laughed at others who fell. We said we were smarter. We had VPNs, backups, encrypted drives. We forgot one thing: no crime ever truly disappears. It wasn't the German clients. It wasn't the UK clients. It wasn't the old woman from Alabama. It wasn't the Bitcoin fraud. It wasn't even the fake fintech app we created that brought us down. It was one of those small-time scams from years ago. A woman from Agege, whose life we shattered for 10,000 naira. Her son, a police officer who never let it go. He found us, and with that, everything began to unravel. They came for us in the middle of the night. It was just past 2 a.m. when I heard the pounding, not the gentle knock of a visitor, not even the frantic bang of a neighbor in distress. No, this was military, heavy, ruthless. "Open this door. Police." My heart jumped to my throat. I looked at Dio. His eyes were wide open before I even said his name. The way we froze in bed, like children, caught stealing meat from the pot. Only this time, the pot was fire. In less than 5 minutes, our front door was gone, splintered into two. Flashlights blinded us. Guns pointed. Voices shouted. We didn't resist. We didn't even have the strength. As they cuffed our hands and dragged us out of the flat in Lekki Phase 1, all I could think about was Dio's laugh the night before. We had just returned from Qlux, sprayed over 1 million naira like it was water. Dio had said, "Nothing fit touch us. We be ghosts for this city." But even ghosts get caught when their sins start to stink. At the station, the charges were read to us: fraud, impersonation, identity theft. But it wasn't the international cases. It wasn't Rose from Alabama, or Martin from Canada, or the crypto wallet we cloned. It was one name: Mama Esther. 3 years ago, we posed as landlords, promised her a 2-room apartment in Agege, took 10,000 naira and vanished. It was nothing to us then, pocket change. We used it to buy data and suya. But for her, it was everything. We didn't know her son was a relentless police detective. He waited, watched, investigated quietly. While we climbed the ladder of fraud, he climbed his ladder of vengeance. And when he struck, he didn't come for justice. He came for blood. Our phones were seized, laptops confiscated. Dio tried to smile at first, said it was nothing. "Na small case, Joe. We go settle. We always settle." But this wasn't a normal case. Someone wanted to make a point, and they did. The newspapers picked it up. Yahoo duo nabbed in Lagos crackdown. Photos of our arrests spread like wildfire. Our names, our faces exposed. Family called. Friends disappeared. Mom came to see me. Her hands trembled as she touched my face through the bars. Her eyes said more than words could ever. Not true. Toby, you be thief? I wanted to lie. I couldn't. Tears poured from her eyes. She whispered, I prayed. I prayed every day for your success. I don't know, say, na this kind success, so. That night, I wept like a child. We spent 2 months in detention. Dio still had hope. He said we would find a lawyer, said we would bribe the right people, said everything would go back to normal. But I saw the change in him. The sleepless nights, the shaking hands, the silence. He wasn't built for the slow decay of prison. Then one day, he cracked. They transferred us for trial. As we stepped out of the Black Maria, I heard a gunshot. Panic, screams, shouts, chaos. I turned. Dio was on the ground, blood blooming from his chest, his eyes wide, empty. He died before I could scream his name. They said it was a mistaken identity. Stray bullets. Prisoner tried to escape. Police shot widely. But I knew that detective, Mama Esther's son, he had orchestrated it all. Revenge wasn't justice. It was personal. And now, my best friend, my brother, my blood was gone. I spiraled. At night, I saw Dio in my dreams, laughing, crying, bleeding. I replayed our life like a film reel, from Ajegunle streets to Lekki lights, from Akara breakfast to clubbing in Dubai. We had it all, and we lost it all because of 10,000 naira. And that broke me. I took a plea deal, cooperated with the investigation, gave them passwords, bank details, chat logs. In court, I pled guilty, showed remorse. The judge, maybe seeing something still human in me, gave me a reduced sentence, 6 months. 6 months to think, 6 months to mourn, 6 months to find a way to make peace with my sins. When I got out, Lagos looked different, quieter, angrier. The same streets where we were kings now turned cold shoulders. Old friends avoided me, but I didn't care. I had a mission now. I picked up a spray can. My first mural was of Dio, his face, his smile, painted on a wall in Ajegunle. Below it, I wrote, My brother, my blood, lost to the life we chose. People stared. Some cursed, some cried. Then I painted more. Stories of Yahoo Boys, victims, lies, regrets, redemption. I told the truth with color, with pain, with purpose. Because if I couldn't bring Dio back, maybe I could stop another Dio from dying. They say freedom feels like fresh air on your face. But then, when I walked out of Ikoyi prison with a black nylon bag, holding the last pieces of my old life, the air didn't taste fresh. It tasted like guilt, like smoke, like something burning behind me that I couldn't put out. The mural of Dio was just the beginning. Every wall I touched after that became my confessional, my diary, my protest, my apology. But no matter how much I painted, the guilt never left me. It clung to my shadow. Every face I drew reminded me of someone we scammed, someone whose name we forgot, but whose pain we caused. Every color I sprayed felt like an attempt to cover the blood on my hands, especially Dio's. I still had the shot sometimes in my sleep. Sometimes I had his laugh instead, and that was worse. After my release, I moved back to Ajegunle. The big boy life was over. No more Lekki apartments, no more MacBook Pros or bottles or clubs. I stayed in a small room behind a cousin's mechanic shop. No AC, no fridge, just a mattress, a fan, and silence. And for the first time in years, I felt alive. I started small, a wall behind a church, then a school, then a roadside mechanic's fence. At first, people thought I was mad, a former Yahoo boy, now walking around with paint buckets and ladders, writing messages like, fraud is a prison disguised as a palace. He died rich and guilty. Yahoo no be hustle, it's just hunger wearing a suit. Some people took pictures, some spit at the wall, some stood in silence and just stared. But one day, a boy approached me, skinny, nervous, maybe 16. I sabi you, he said. You and that Dio guy. You go prison. I nodded. He didn't flinch. He looked at the mural I just finished. Two boys, hand in hand, standing at the edge of a cliff. I won't do Yahoo, he said. But this thing they make me think. I didn't preach. I didn't lecture. I just said, that's all I want. For people to think. A radio station interviewed me, called me the Yahoo boy with a conscience. A church invited me to speak to their youth group. I told them the truth, raw and uncut, about the scams, the guilt, the night of the arrest, about Dio's last breath. Some cried, some walked out, but I knew I was planting seeds. Then one day, something happened I didn't expect. Mama Esther came to see me. She waited outside the compound where I lived. She wore all black. I recognized her instantly. That face from 3 years ago. The woman who lost 10,000 naira and sparked the fire that burned our whole world down. I thought she came to curse me, slap me, maybe spit in my face. But she didn't. She just looked at me, tears in her eyes. I lost my son too, she said. I froze. Then I realized she wasn't talking about the police officer. My younger son, he joined one of those gangs in motion. Got caught in a tough fight, dead, shot in the back. She paused. I know pain, Toby, but I also know when someone is trying to change, and I see you. I wanted to say sorry. The words wouldn't come out, so I nodded, and she nodded back. It was the closest thing to peace I'd ever felt. I started working with NGOs. One invited me to run a program teaching street kids graffiti, but not just for art, for storytelling. We called it Walls of Truth. The kids painted their fears, their dreams. Some painted their fathers in prison. Some painted their mothers crying. Some painted money and then burned the painting. It became therapy for them, for me. Years passed. I didn't get rich, not the way we used to, but I earned respect. Old classmates who used to idolize our lifestyle now sent me messages. Bro, I wish I listened earlier. My cousin is in jail for Yahoo. Your story changed me. Even the police invited me to speak at a youth seminar on cybercrime. I stood in front of officers, some of whom probably raided my old flats. I told them the truth. I told them about Dio. I didn't hold back. And when I finished, one officer stood and clapped. Then the rest followed. One night, I stood in front of Dio's mural. It had faded a bit. The sun had bleached the colors. Rain had cracked the paint. But his smile remained. I touched the wall. I miss you, bro, I whispered. We messed up, but I'm trying to make it right. A wind blew. Or maybe it was my imagination, but I felt something. Maybe forgiveness, maybe not, but it was enough. Now, I speak in universities. I paint across cities. I mentor boys who think Yahoo is their only shot. I tell them the truth, the full truth, that the money comes fast, but so does the ruin. That every victim has a face, a family, a story. That every 10,000 naira stolen might be the beginning of an ending you can't undo.